What's going on, beautiful people? And thank you for tuning in and watching and listening to my videos. I appreciate your appreciation of my rants and rambles. And I love every single one of you guys. And we're going to talk about how to stop caring what other people think of you. And this is a video, every time I make it with this title, gets lots of views because it's a real problem to people. How to stop caring what other people think of you. So, just quickly here, always a fresh perspective on this subject every time I make it. So, you know, for like a lot of our time as humans, our survival was mostly physical thing, right? So the ego thing, this ego thing was mostly in your body. Like, you know, you're there, you grow up and phew, I'm in this middle of these fucking woods and fuck, so many predators and these other human tribes are always after us and fuck, oh man, it's my physical survival here. So your ego identification becomes less of a story who you are and more about my ego is my body and I gotta survive, right? So you act from that place of survival. Oh fuck, I gotta run away from predators. Oh fuck, these motherfuckers are after us again. Alright guys, prepare your bows and arrows, prepare your swords, hide the children, we're gonna fucking fight these guys, right? It's more your physical body, really. That's where most of your ego is. You know, your ego is just your identification, your character, your existence in this video game, in this illusion, in this thing we're experiencing called planet Earth, called the physical universe. This is just your ego, it's your physical body. And so you act from a place to preserve it, which is usually fear. Like, oh, I'm scared for my survival, for my tribe survival, so I'm gonna fight these guys. Or fuck, like I don't want to die, so I'm gonna run away from the predator. So you get the fear response, adrenaline, and you go on about your life. And so as we got more sophisticated as humans, the ego made this sneaky transformation from the physical survival, and it became a mental thing. Right? It became a mental thing. It's really weird. Because now, like, if you're living in the Western world, and even most of the world nowadays, even like poor places are, you know, getting richer, right? Even Africa, you know, the poverty will be eradicated by something like 2050 or 2060. So, in essence, by 2050, 2060, nobody will be really worried about their physical survival anymore, right? And so that's sort of the world we're moving into. But somehow this fear response finds itself into the mind now. So now we're living in these stories about who we are, right? So you have this reputation that you want to protect. Say you're somebody working in a job, in an office job, and you're a manager. And you have this reputation like you're this well-mannered person, you're this kind person, you're this responsible person, right? You're responsible. And you go to a bar, right? And you're fucking worried. Like, what if somebody's there and I'm gonna get shit-faced here and I'm gonna be acting like a baby and I'm gonna be throwing up and what if somebody sees me here that works with me? Or what if somebody tells somebody else that works with me, hey, by the way, that responsible leader type person that is your boss was puking and crying like a little baby the other day in the bar. So this is your survival again. You're worried what other people are going to think of you. Fear-based, right? You fear of losing your job. You fear of losing your reputation. You fear being rejected by the tribe, which is in this case would be, I guess, your company and your friends. So that survival mechanism moved into the mind, you know, which is not a tangible thing, but you know, it's the mind. It's people say it's not real, but you're creating a reality with your mind. So now it is real to you. Now you've created this reality where your survival is at risk. But it's all bullshit. It's all in your head. But to you, it's real. To your subjective experience, it's real. And now you're constantly worried, right? You're fucking worried what your parents are going to think. Because your parents have been your providers as a kid, as a baby, right? Your providers of nourishment, of love, of material things, of survival needs. So now you grow up and you're worried what your parents are going to think of you, what they're going to say about you if you do something different, because you're worried for your survival. Again, we're still in survival mode and fear mode. Fear mode, survival mode. We got to get out of there. We got to get out of there. We got to get out of there. If we want to stop worrying what other people are going to think, we got to get out of fear mode. Because now, again, it's just the fear found a mental manifestation as opposed to a physical manifestation. We got to get out of there, out of our heads, out of the body. Let's get a better perspective here, right? Let's get a higher perspective on what the fuck's going on. What is going on here? What is going on here is, to put it in simple terms, we're living in the cycle of birth and death, reincarnation. And death is just you leaving this dimension. You're an eternal stream of consciousness. You are eternal. You can't die. You can't die. Death is just a transformation into another plane of existence. Somewhere you feel like more like home, if anything. And when you realize that, when you face that fear of death, when you accept that death, you know, when you accept even the uncertainty that comes with it, you don't have to believe in anything. Just accepting death, accepting things the way they are, accepting that the only constant in life is change. The only constant in this simulation is change. The simulation that is running itself, running its course here, right now. This magnificent illusion, magnificent simulation. I mean, I can't believe the programmer is that fucking genius. I can't believe it. And I can't believe that that's me and you, the programmer. We're the programmer. I can't believe how genius we all are. I really can't. Can't wait to get out of this fucking human suit and remember how genius I am. But I can, you know, through increasing my level of awareness and state of consciousness, I can make it more and more of a thing in everyday life. And it's a process of remembering. So, when you realize, hold on, like, death, what is this death thing? Let's talk about it. Let's face it. Let's cry over it. Let's, you know, take my time to process that I'm a ticking time bomb. Let me process that for a second here. Hold on, so everything that I'm scared of is going to happen anyway. This thing that I'm always trying to protect, this defense mechanism that I have, it's going to happen. I'm going to fucking die. I can't escape it. I can't fucking escape it. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to fucking die. All right, here we go. Existential crisis, despair, depression, bullshit, fuck this shit, no meaning, meaningless, absurdity, nihilism, fuck that shit, man. Fuck life, okay? You go through all of that process. Go through it, and if it takes years, let it take years. But once you come to full terms with death, and this doesn't even need a spiritual or anything, any belief. It just requires a complete letting go. You can be an atheist that doesn't believe in all this and still be accepting that I'm gonna die. And this is cool and it's beautiful. If you can convince yourself that, it's beautiful. It's just a part of nature. Things have to die. Life evolves. You know, without death, there's no evolution. You know, every time the trees shed their leaves, you know, they grow better, more evolved leaves the next round. And the same thing with us. We have to let go. Our physical body has to go and evolution has to take its course. And if you can accept that without even having any spiritual beliefs or religious beliefs or anything like that, then you're onto something here. Because now you don't have too much to cling on to and too much to defend anymore. You're like, oh, what, you think I'm a douchebag? Oh, well, who gives a shit? You're gonna die, I'm gonna die. You know, it is what it is. You come to this realization, this understanding, it is what it is, right? And, you know, I don't know, maybe you go and you say something to a girl and she fucking slaps you or says something mean to you and you say, oh, well, you're gonna die, I'm gonna die, in the grand scheme of eternity, in the grand scheme of everything. This is not even a grain of a sand. This is like a fucking fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a grain of sand. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. You just kind of let it go. And you start to give less of a fuck because you don't have so much to defend. Because what is there to defend? You're losing everything as is right now. Right now, you're fucking losing it. You're a ticking time bomb. You're a fucking ticking time bomb. You're losing it all. So you realize, oh, okay, well, what the fuck was I so worried about? Why what am I trying to defend here? What reputation am I trying to defend? What exactly, what survival purpose am I trying to defend this reputation that I created for myself in my head, or even this physical body? And yeah, you just kind of like stop being so scared and having so much to defend, because you know, hey, like, this thing's temporary, and I'm just here in it temporarily, and I'm gonna fucking get out of here. And so I'm gonna get out of here. What am I defending? What am I defending? If I'm gonna get the fuck out of here, whether I like it or not. What am I defending exactly? What reputation am I defending here? Anybody give a fuck about what I did like 1,000 years from now? So what am I defending then? Because, you know, when you look at time, like, fuck, we've been here for like 14, 15 billion years, the Big Bang, right? So, you know, even if you think you're some big shot, you know, even like Alexander the Great, who thought he's some big shot, called himself Alexander the Great. And we still remember Alexander the Great, but I don't fucking know if we're gonna remember Alexander the Great like 500,000 years from now, even 100,000 years from now, with the way things are happening right now. Maybe we'll remember Said the Great. But even then, even Said the Great, it's gonna get lost. We might remember Said the Great 100,000 years from now, but maybe 1,000,000 years from now, I mean, fuck, who the fuck is Said the Great? Nobody fucking knows shit about him. So even the stories that we're building here in our head about ourselves, who we are, even if they're so magnificent and grandiose, they're gonna fucking get shat on in the grand scheme of eternity, in the grand scheme of time. Time is just gonna come and take a big fucking shit on that image that you're trying to, your reputation that you're trying to withhold or protect. And this physical body, I don't have to tell you, it literally turns into shit. Like, it turns into dirt, and then, you know, it's right there. So immediately, it just like whew, transforms into the earth. So it's like, what am I defending? And once you have less things to defend, and there's less fear there of being completely annihilated, because you know you will be, then you can be like, oh, let me enjoy the moment. Let me relax. Let me not give a fuck about trivial things here. Let me enjoy this day. Let me enjoy this walk. Let me enjoy this beautiful day, this beautiful nature. Let me go and have a conversation with my friend. You know, I haven't seen my friend in a while. Let me go have a conversation. Let's drink some tea, and let's just relax and chill and listen to some music and talk about life. Tell him what's going on in my personal life. See what's been happening in his personal life. It is. It just is, right? I don't know how else to explain it at this point. Then it becomes so illogical to care what other people think of you, right? So I know this is probably like, I made this before, how to care what others think of you, and this is actually a radically different perspective. And I love remaking some of the videos that I made before, because it's always a different perspective, right? And this is the kind of perspective that I have right now, is like, you know, it's pretty radical. Like, what people think of you, why you care so much, everything happens for a reason, I think. And everything comes into our life as a blessing. I believe that. So that constant feeling of anxiety inside of you, of having to worry about what others think of you, others can be strangers, can be parents, can be friends, it's your blessing, because now you're going to be like, oh, well, I don't like this anxiety feeling. Let me see the source of that anxiety. And the source of that anxiety, as you dig deeper, will be death. Fear of death, fear of being completely abandoned from this existence. And face that, because that will lead you into either some dark, nasty places, or some absolutely beautiful places. Beautiful, magnificent places. Because if it leads you to certain places, I call them the places of love and light, you will realize you don't have to worry about death. There's nothing to be feared. In fact, it's beautiful on the other side. It's magnificent. It's wonderful. It's blissful. It's the compassion and the love is tear-dropping. Really, really. So if it leads you to those places, cool. If not, eventually it'll lead you there. Eventually. Maybe in this incarnation, in the next one. But eventually we all get there. Eventually we all become butterflies. We all make our way through from being caterpillar, go through the metamorphosis, and we become butterflies. In this lifetime, in the next, in a fucking bazillion lifetimes from now, we all get there eventually. But we must first deal with our current predicament, our existential predicament of death. And that's how you stop giving a fuck what people think of you. God bless you all. I love every single one of you guys. You're all amazing, wonderful beings. And that's it. As always, don't forget to subscribe or you're gonna sleep with the fishes.